Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. And that is Nico, the sleeping cat. He is channeling all his energy to help me with this reading here. As he dreams, I hope he's not dreaming of sharks and electrocution, because that's what this topic is going to be about. Donald Trump and sharks and electrocution. Because why not? Quick segue. If you like this channel and you like the readings that you see on it, I do have two other channels. You could check out Tarot of the Seven Seas, which is basically just like this channel, except that I do international readings. And I also have a channel I do with my twin brother Gary called Twin Tarot with Gary and David. Very creative naming. And it's, again, just like this channel, except there's two of us, and we finish each other's sentences, and we make fun of the spreads that we do and the results with it. The snark level is much higher. The laughter and the energy levels up. So if you either of those sound interesting to you, check the description in the video as well as my community page. Okay, I'm recording this video on Friday, June 14th, with the intention of putting it up on Sunday, June 16th. Just because I got a busy Saturday, so I want to get a little bit of a head start with the Sunday videos here. Okay, so why are we talking about this? There was a rally in Las Vegas last Sunday where the teleprompter went down. Pardon a second, clear my throat. Where a teleprompter broke down, and then Donald Trump just went on a stream of consciousness. And it's like he basically said, what would happen if you're in a boat and it sank from its weight and you have this tremendously powerful battery? And the battery's now underwater and there's a shark about 10 yards over there. What would you do? And he said, I would take the electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near that shark. Nobody asked. Nobody cared. But, hey, Trump cared. So, there you have that. Stormy Daniels commented that Trump told her that he is absolutely terrified of sharks. And that if he donates to charities, he'll donate to all sorts of charities, but none that save sharks. He wants them to all die. So, not exactly sure why he's terrified of sharks. Maybe he saw Jaws in the 70s like the rest of us and just got the bejesus scared out of him and he never recovered from it. It's not like we all see pictures of Donald splashing around off the coast, you know, where sharks might be. But hey, whatever. But I also start to wonder if sharks are like a metaphor. Bo, the fifth column, had a humorous metaphor for it, basically saying if the dark branding campaign didn't put a picture of Trump's wading or swimming in the water with a big white Jaws mouth with maybe dark Brandon sunglasses on it coming up behind him, they were really missing an opportunity. But, you know, it's kind of a metaphor also. Not only is Donald Trump scared of sharks, think about it. Sharks... Humans are kind of an apex predator. We're at the top of the food chain, or pretty darn close to it, at least in, you know, our society. If you're out in the jungle or you're out in the forest, you're not quite at the top of the food chain anymore. You know what I mean? Tell that to the bears or the mountain lions, or, you know, there's other animals if you're in the jungles, tigers and lions and stuff like that, that are a little bit higher up on the food chain than you are. And we are scavengers after all. But in the water, you know, as far as fishes go, sharks are kings. The humans they swim really slowly. Yeah, very vulnerable. They have no defenses. A shark attacks, you know, it's not like music plays when the shark attacks. You know what I mean? You don't hear the dun 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 to give you a clue to get out of the water. You're just out there splashing around. Next thing you know, you might get bumped or bitten. So that terrifies Trump. And I think part of that is because he's not in control of the situation. And he's defenseless against the situation. Kind of like these court cases. Now that he's been convicted, it's like the sentencing's like a shark. It's coming for him, and there's nothing he can do to avoid it. Now, electrocution doesn't sound like a real picnic either. But with electrocution, he at least has the choice of short-circuiting and getting zapped. Kind of like having your brain short-circuit and get zapped either through dementia or a stroke or something along those lines. So there's kind of a metaphor here that when faced with imminent danger and an imminent threat that he can't stop and he's powerless to stop, he's going to take some self-destructive way out. But I want to sort of look at that to see if that metaphor is accurate or if I'm just off on some wild tangent here. So I'm going to ask Spirit, what's the energy around Donald Trump and these rants about sharks and batteries? Apparently he said, no, I have a relationship with MIT. I'm a real smart guy. His uncle worked there. Yeah. And like, you know, if I had an uncle that worked on cars, that doesn't make me a mechanic. You know what I mean? Whatever. Entertainment purposes only. What's going on with Trump and this shark story? Ace of Cups. He's under a lot of stress. He's also, I guess, trying to connect with the audience and show how, you know, like we have this common fear of sharks, how we're both scared of sharks and you can't do anything with a shark. But, you know, if you're sinking, you can make the sacrifice. You can sacrifice yourself by electrocuting yourself. Much better than letting the shark get you. So that's kind of a twisted little thing there. It's kind of almost like an indoctrination of I'd kill myself in order to stop something from happening. Wouldn't you do the same? And if you get them to say yes, then you can say, okay, go jump in front of that shark over there so I can run away. I can walk on your bodies. Maybe if the shark eats enough of you, it won't eat me. Crossed with the King of Wands. Taking actions. Yeah, this is, again, taking actions, maybe even foolish sacrificial actions. He's playing on people's emotions to take actions on things. The High Priestess. And it's actions against things that are that aren't in their best interest. They're unwise moves. Foolish things. This is a layered reading, by the way, because this is also my card for the Department of Justice. So I'm going to read this as Trump reaching out to his base, but then I'm going to come back and I'm going to read it about Trump and his fears about the Department of Justice coming after him and you know, the secrets that he holds or the things that he might be able to negotiate with or something along those lines. Let's see how this turns out. With his base. Two of Cups. You know, his base has always been there for him. He's been the central part of his life, and I think he's trying to gin up his base. He's trying to get them motivated again, get them scared, get them falling behind Donald Trump. If he's going to be the lemming that leads off the cliff, they will happily go off the cliff with him, but he'd prefer they go off the cliff first. You know what I mean? So that it'll cushion his fall on the way down. Current situation, Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, it's part of it's funny, it's a values thing, it's a grifting thing. He's taking these folks for their money and now he wants them to be mercenaries. This is a really bizarre way of looking at it. You know, no, we're all on the same team. We're, you know, Team Trump. Yay. You guys can do this for me. You know, I'd electrocute myself for you to save you from the shark. You know, what's a little bit of electrocution for, or, you know, give me your money type of thing here. You know, I'm a very valuable person and you're a bit more expendable. You should probably be doing this for me. Seven of Wands, fighting off challenges. Yeah, again, he's under a lot of stress. He's under a lot of emotional stress. Money always helps his mood because that's one of the few things he values. But he's just fighting all the time, and he's looking for his allies, and he doesn't have his allies. It's funny. He's getting to the point of being like Jim Jones in a cult, telling people what to do. Here's your Kool-Aid cup right here. In the past, we always agreed we were going to drink from the same Kool-Aid cup. When I give the word, we're going to sprinkle this in the Kool-Aid cup. Remember, I'm your leader. I'm dear leader here, and you guys work for me, type of thing. There's that vibe there, that cult-like vibe. And the outcome is the Star card. He's trying to get people ginned up. It's almost like you start finding out who the true believers are in all this. Some people are going to fall off. Some people are going to fall off. Some people are just going to drink deep from the Kool-Aid. Now, be careful stepping in there, lady. You might get electrocuted. Better to stay on firm ground than get eaten by a shark type thing. Now, how is this going to look if this is a court case here? Strong emotional component here because he knows the courts have him. And he's trying to find some way to negotiate out. And, again, electrocution would be like the brain thing. The brain frying up. Like if he can really develop dementia quickly or have a stroke or something like that. In the past, the Two of Cups. These 34 convictions are just about the relationships that he had. He tried to hide, and it was the cover-up that nailed him. His witnesses came forward here. Current situation is the Knight of Pentacles. He's going to try and appeal this case. It's really not going to go anywhere. So he has to try and offer something of value, which could be his health. He may sacrifice his health in order to address this emotionally stressful issue. Overarching energy, we might see a great diminishment in his health. If he could bribe his way out, he would do it in a second. If he could bribe his way out of these 34 felonies, convictions, he would do it. Maybe he would try to say, have some leniency on me so I don't have to go to prison. But I think when you start telling crazy stories like this, it's trying to set the stage that maybe your mental acuity is not so great, that you're in a mental decline. All this stress, you're fighting, you're in a mental decline, and you need, there's mental exhaustion or something like that. You can't possibly throw this star into prison because I'm a star. I don't belong in prison. Oh, God. This part right here. This part, that divine feminine wisdom. It's like, whether he's purposely or not, he's setting himself up to look a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And I do think that the court cases have him a bit unhinged. And he'd rather, he'd rather take his own life and have control over it. He'd rather have his people, his cult members, take their lives for him. He's trying to desensitize them to doing things that are in their best interest. That's weird. That's a weird reading. I'm not fully convinced. It's just... Okay, what else can you tell me about his these ramblings here? Is there anything you'd like to share? Throw something my way. Throw me a bone here. I'm a little confused with all this. Maybe some clarification as to is there anything behind this? Is this just the insane ramblings of an old man? I mean, honestly. Three of Cups. Celebrations. Raising your cup. Celebrating. Women celebrating. Victory. Achievements. Crossed by the moon card by craziness. Yeah, it's almost like it's part of a plan to avoid accountability by going crazy. He's working on it. This, I think a number of readers from a long time ago, because I know I'm not the first person to think of this, said that he might try and feign mental health problems to avoid prison. But then he doesn't want to feign mental health problems because then that makes him look weak, and he's still trying to become the president of the United States. But it's like one of those things where it looks like you're not going to make it as the president of the United States, or you don't get elected, and you're facing prison, is it better at that point to try and fake that you're crazy so that you don't have to go to prison? That type of thing. I don't think he's played the tape all the way through, because they'll put him in a facility for the rest of his life. And it's harder to get out of a facility than it is a prison. But I don't think he thinks that all the way through there. I'm cured. In the past, we got the Page of Pentacles. Talking about his health. The people have been talking to him about his health. There's craziness here. He's under a lot of stress. Huge burdens that he's currently carrying right now with everything that's going on in his life. And he makes things difficult on himself. His health is deteriorating. He's looking to lose a lot of money. Let me back this up. He's looking to lose a lot of money to I Ching Carroll and to the state of New York. He's lost 5 court cases already. Trump Org is now a felony organization. Donald Trump has been convicted of defamation twice, including the first time includes a sexual assault, or basically rape. So that's 3. He lost the New York civil case, and he lost the New York criminal case. He's losing a lot of money. He's losing a lot of support, and his health may be declining on it because he's making things difficult on himself. This card looks familiar. The lesson to be learned is the Ace of Cups. He can't keep his emotions in control. He's losing emotional control, and it's impacting his health. Now, is that going to be something that again, this is also like dementia. We're seeing the word salad. We're seeing the dementia out in front of us here. Outcome is the 9 of Cups. Smug merchant hopes, wishes, dreams fulfilled. Yeah, it's just, if he can't get people lined up behind him to march behind him for him to get out of this problem, then he's going to fall back on those emotions and claim, that he's claim emotional issues, mental issues. Don't focus just on emotions, but mental issues. This is just a weird reading. 7 of Wands. Just fighting all the time. He's doing it to himself. His dementia's out there for us to see. And he's losing support for it, and he knows it. He's trying to hold on to his support. He's almost like, again, one of the things is, and I kind of get it with this card, he's starting to go inside. Because the world outside is a cruel place. And he can't get his... Come on, back down. He's not... Because I think I'm finally getting it. He's not getting his victories. And he doesn't understand why. Things aren't working like they always worked before. They've always worked before. He can always get people to do stuff. And no matter how things were difficult, he can always land on his feet. But things are even more difficult, and he's not winning. He's losing all the time. And it's driving him, it's emotionally, it's driving him nuts. And there's no end to the fighting because he never stops fighting. He never wants to surrender. And he's going within because outside world's too difficult. Too much fighting, it's too difficult. If I go in, if I start going within my brain, go here, I'll find victory. I'll find a place of refuge. I can get into this place of refuge here. They can't get me. And then I'll be safe. I'll be okay. And it'll be too difficult for them to prove otherwise. It's almost like he tries to fake like he's going crazy, or he does. But it's all kind of a defense mechanism because of this great fear that he has. That Ace of Cups came up a couple of times. He has a great fear of being held accountable for his actions, or certainly facing the consequences of his actions. And although he'll talk about self-sacrifice on that big battery, he doesn't want to. Yeah, that's bravado talking. That's trying to sound like a tough guy. Why not just go attack the shark if he's going to get you? At least give him the what for. Maybe you could actually scare it off if you get a lucky blow in before he chomps you in half. But Donald Trump has never been one to go after a fish bigger than himself. He'd rather cower. He'd rather deny the hangman. Okay. I'm just going to leave it here with this one. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your likes, shares, comments, everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm so these videos make it out to a wider audience. To folks discovering this channel recently or for the first time, welcome. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you found it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.